Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Max here today with Gardner Nichols. Hello.
Hello.
And you were running, this is your R1T up here on the stand. You're running this up Pike's Peak this weekend, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So just for those who don't know, for our audience, Pike's Peak is this, I think, really famous celebration of both motorsport, racing cars up basically a very tall mountain. Can you just introduce yourself and how you came about to doing this week?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Gardner Nichols. I'm born and raised in Colorado, so my whole life I've been around the mountains. And growing up, I actually grew up near where Paul Dallenbach lives. And Paul Dallenbach is a longtime racer at Pike's Peak. And so when I was about 15 or 16 years old, he sort of took me under his wing, and I sort of apprenticed on his team for 3 summers in a row. I was sort of his tire guy. And, I've always had a passion for cars and racing and motorsports. So I think the combination of all that, I've always wanted to compete at Pike's Peak. Back, when I was working for Paul, young Gardner would introduce himself as like, I'm Gardner, I'm working for Paul, I'm an aspiring driver, so that type of thing. So it's been a lifelong goal. So I'm really excited to be able to take the first ever Rivian up Pike's Peak. I have a great group of mentors between Paul Dallenbach and David Donahue and Jeff Zwart. The list goes on and on.
Nice. So this is your first time racing, but you've got the pedigree, mentors, background.
Yeah, I have a great audience of mentors to bounce ideas off and like drive the mountain with, during the day at street speeds. So
nice.
But I am a rookie, so.
Yeah. Is this your personal R1T?
It is.
So it looks like you're working with Pirelli, we can see, right? Great tire company, OE tires for Rivian as well.
Yeah.
But also Optima, who's, I guess, as I understand it, providing an auxiliary battery system for this truck.
Yeah, and their new lithium batteries are going to help power some of our data acquisition and like auxiliary items on the truck to, help support getting it up the hill.
Yeah.
And giving me the information as the driver to like maximize the run. So.
Right, so kind of like extra data gathering.
Yeah.
And I guess you're using that this week as you practice to kind of help
definitely
hone down your performance. Question I have, a lot of EV drivers don't even know that EVs still have auxiliary low voltage battery systems and all that.
Yeah.
Optima obviously, makes car batteries for all kinds of cars. Their new lithium ones obviously save weight, I imagine, are better performing. So that seemed like a kind of easy, modification to make here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they're new lithium batteries, which, should I go grab one?
Yeah, sure. All right, looks like you've got the retail packaging for that Optima battery, and their branding for that is basically their lithium hypercore. As I understand it, I think it's a lithium iron phosphate, and so the benefits of this as opposed to like, I don't know, your standard off-the-shelf battery, what would those be?
I think generally weight, weight savings, and then power delivery, so you can have really dense, energy, really high energy density, I believe. It might not quote me on too much battery stuff. I'm definitely more of a chassis and suspension and tire guy.
All good.
By trade.
Yeah. So definitely exciting stuff with the battery there you've got. And then when it comes to the rubber that you're going to use, we've got this tire laid out here.
Yeah.
That's a Pirelli P0. Is this similar to the OE setup on the truck?
It's a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
So if you were to buy a Rivian today, it would come on Pirelli tires, and they have either
a Scorpion all-terrain.
Yeah, Scorpion all-terrain is the 20-inch. They do a Scorpion all-season, I think, for the 21, and then I think a Scorpion Zero for their 22-inch. So these are the standard 22-inch wheels. Our effort on the mountain, we're trying to set a production truck record, maybe even a production EV record. Mm-hmm. Sort of a stretch goal there.
Yeah.
But per the rules, you have to use a stock wheel. Mm-hmm. So that is the stock wheel. And so when we approached Pirelli, we were talking to them about what size of off-the-shelf tire could fit on the stock wheel. And the Lamborghini Urus came to mind. So actually over there is a set of P0 Corsas, and that is the standard tire that you get on a Lamborghini SUV or even a Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT.
Right.
And then this, I think, is the optional tire that you would get on the Urus Performante. Mm-hmm. So
the very spicy Urus.
The very spicy.
Fastest production SUV, as I understand it, at least combustion one in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So I think for our purposes, this is sort of maximizing, you know, the shape of tire, the size of tire, the factory wheel.
Yep.
Seems to be working really great this week on the truck too, which is
Nice.
exciting. So.
Seems like an excellent street tire, and also I think super relevant for Pikes Peak because, you know, Rivian R1T in particular, known for being a very great off-roader. This is a very much kind of on-road use case. So what are like the biggest challenges and what are the biggest pros you think of running a mostly stock vehicle like this in this race?
Yeah, for sure. So funny thing is that Pikes Peak obviously used to not be paved. So, you know, if we were doing this 10 or 12 years ago, or actually maybe 15 years ago now, our tire choice would probably look very different. But yeah, no, just trying to maximize the production hardware on the vehicle. And we've really stayed truthful and or faithful, I should say, to the production spec of this truck. Mm-hmm. We came in at the heaviest vehicle in tech inspection.
Yeah.
At 7130 pounds.
Yeah.
The next heaviest car was the BMW XM, which came in at 5,500 pounds.
Yeah, and that's not even a pure battery electric car.
Yeah.
This is what, like 100, you know, large lithium-ion battery, standard Rivian by most accounts, with those, you know, auxiliary accessory modifications. You're looking at a heavy EV, but also looks like your advantage here is going to be the fact that you've got quad motor power. I think over 800, you know, total horsepower. That'll hopefully help, right?
Yeah, no, and it's been really helpful all during the test week. So
Yeah.
all of our sector times during all the practices have come pretty much like mid-pack. And that's with all these like Porsche
Oh, wow.
factory race cars. There's a Ferrari 488 GT3 car in there.
Yeah.
We were 3 seconds off of that in one of the sections.
So doing better than that XM you mentioned?
Not quite. That
Okay.
car is very fast.
Okay.
They actually have a much wider rear tire as well.
Yeah.
And they were able to remove quite a lot of weight from that.
And that car from the factory is not exactly going to be doing trails in Moab or anything, whereas
Yeah.
this very much could be.
It is, and that's sort of the cool thing is like, you know, this car is still street legal. We can throw a license plate on it. We actually took it to a EA charger
Nice.
the other night, and like we drove it there
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. So
Has it gotten a lot of attention? Because, you know, it is a mostly stock R1T, but obviously you've got this sweet livery package going on it with the sponsors and everyone who's making this possible. Have people taken notice of this?
definitely, yeah, we've gotten a lot of compliments on the livery, which is great. It's something that my wife and I actually designed together.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's been sort of a creative outlet, which is
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, the livery just went on Saturday. I think it got finalized.
Yeah.
So we only had it on for a few days.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's getting a lot more attention.
Nice.
So
And as a like suspension and chassis guy, like at a broad viewpoint, or I guess for a lay audience, you know, someone who's not a mechanical engineer, what is the setup looking like here this week for getting this race ready?
yeah, so I mean the cool thing on the suspension on the R1T is you have this like hydraulically cross-linked suspension with the dampers, and then you have air springs. And so from the factory, the car has so much capability and like ride height ability to change ride heights, you know, for off-roading or on-road performance, and then ability to change like your roll stiffness or damping calibrations just on the fly. So with that, honestly, we haven't changed a thing. So technically, you could plug into the car and change your damping calibrations to optimize, you know, maybe the tire or the setup. But honestly, we're leaving it alone. Again, staying really faithful to like, this is the exact car a customer could just pick up and, you know, potentially go run this race, and just showing the overall capability of the Rivian.
Within the ride modes, what kind of setup are you using? Because I know the truck gives you a little bit of customization there.
Yeah. So we are running all of our race runs in sport mode.
Yep.
Low ride height.
Yep.
Not lowest. That's because it gets pretty bumpy up there.
Yeah.
And then I'm running stability control off. We did one run with it on like the medium stability control setting, and we found it was a little too restrictive. You know, we want the car to move around a little bit, so we found it was actually faster just running with stability off.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Other people are like, you know, putting on minor like quarter panels, carbon fiber. Here we are.
Yeah, working tonneau cover, onboard air compressor, onboard power outlet. So
It'd be an amazing story if, you know, you're able to like inflate
can
someone
still
else's
show.
tires or something.
yeah, we can still show like this is just a fully production truck. Yeah, we don't have a spare tire. We actually didn't get one. But yeah,
So rear seats removed, a little bit of looks like structural, stuff here, but you still got your basically full-on driver, UI and screens intact.
Yeah, yeah. So per the rules, they make you remove all the seats, and they make you remove all the carpets and other interior trim.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's like just for motorsport safety. And yeah, we had to remove all that stuff pretty much to fit the roll cage.
Yep.
It was a beautifully done job.
Yeah.
So yeah, beyond that, I mean, that's pretty much all we removed.
And you still got the glass roof.
Yeah, still have the glass roof.
Yeah.
No carbon fiber here.
Nope.
All glass here works. We have motorized windows still work. I think we still have air conditioning.
Nice. So you'll be comfortable.
Yeah, I'll be comfortable. I don't have a heated seat anymore because of the FIA seat. So we have our instrumented brake pads here to monitor brake temperatures. We have our required siren system for all EVs. Yeah, it's pretty much everything that's going on here.
Just for context, people watching this who don't know what Pike's Peak is, right? You're climbing 5,000 feet in a very short amount of distance. Incredibly difficult race, whether it's a combustion or electric car. I imagine thermals might be an issue here, right? Because people don't realize EVs overheat too. They also need air, just like the brakes do, just like a combustion engine does. Batteries and motors get hot.
Yeah.
How is that looking?
Yeah, so as you climb an elevation, obviously the oxygen content gets lower up high, and air density gets lower. So, any car going up Pikes Peak has to deal with heat buildup and just ability to cool everything from brakes, engines, batteries, motors. Yeah, so that's probably, the truck is really fast and our segment times are really good. I think our biggest battle is gonna be weather.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get good weather. It's been very rainy in Colorado, and thermal buildup. So, the batteries will get pretty warm and the motors will also get hot. So, again, we're not allowed to add any additional cooling. So, yeah, we're just trying to maximize the production hardware, see how far we can get.
When you say weather, I imagine that would actually be an advantage here because of the independent, mostly four-motor traction system. Is that something that could help you actually?
That and our tire choice, being more of a street tire, it's designed to be, generally pretty capable in a lot of conditions. So we did a tire test weekend 2 weeks ago on Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
And we actually didn't get to run the upper half of the mountain due to weather. There's still snow. They're still trying to plow the roads. So we're just stuck on the bottom half. And yeah, it was foggy. Visibility was horrible. Roads were very wet and it was raining the whole time.
Yeah.
And again, the car came, we came sort of mid-pack of everyone there. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's still fast in all these conditions. We I don't know if I'll say we have an advantage in the rain, but I don't think we're going to be any slower than anyone else. So.
Right. I guess everyone's running some kind of four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive traction system, all kinds of different stuff.
Maybe, or have some pretty wild tires. There's some cars out there actually with no traction control, which is
all about that driver skill.
Yeah, your built-in traction control.
But one good thing with an EV, that's going to be simple for you. One more question I have is, everyone talks about regen as an effect in electric cars, right? You can reverse the current flow, basically slow down without using the friction brakes. I don't know too much about the layout of the Pikes Peak course, but do you estimate regen for this being an electric vehicle coming into play at all?
Yeah, we're actually going to try to minimize regen as much as we can.
Yeah.
Because that's just putting more heat into your batteries and motors, because you're capturing essentially the kinetic energy, and instead of it going into your brakes, you're capturing it and storing it back in your batteries, which is great for range and driving on the roads. But in our case, we want to minimize the amount of heat buildup. So I think with our Hawk brakes, we're going to try to maximize our foundation brake system.
Nice. So very capable kinetic brake system, obviously very capable rubber as well. But it sounds like, so the sport suspension, regen, basically all the way off?
As low as it'll go.
Yeah, the truck doesn't let you entirely turn it off.
Yeah.
So I guess there will be some brake blending, but we're not talking about a one pedal situation.
Yeah, I'll be using the brakes as much as I can, I guess.
Nice. Well,
when I do, I guess.
Yeah. Best of luck to you, Gardner. You've got, stiff competition with this race, but awesome that you're, qualifying and doing well with what is, like you said, a largely stock vehicle. That's really impressive. So super exciting.
Thank you. I appreciate it.